Today, I want to tell you about a client of mine. She is expanding her skin therapy business to a brand new venue. More space, more overhead, more responsibility, and in short, a genuinely bold step. The people around her, the people who love her, are very stressed about it. They are asking worried questions, they are offering warnings, uh, and of course, warnings dressed up as advice. And the great thing, and I think the inspiring thing about this is that she is fine. She is completely fine and not performing fine, not the Ross in Friends. I'm fine. She is not suppressing anything. She is absolutely fine because she made a decision. She decided, basically, that it's going to work, that it's going to be successful. And today I want to talk to you about what that actually means and what that does energetically and strategically, obviously, and exactly how your human design plays into your ability to make a decision like that and stick to it. Because this is not about positive thinking or, motivational talking, etc. This is not about ignoring risk. This is about something much more specific. And once you understand it, it will change how you approach every big decision in your business. Now, what does a real decision? I mean, most people treat a decision as a result of certainty, as a result. So that means that you have to feel sure first. Because, you need to feel sure, then the confidence arrives, and then you commit. But actually, what I've learned over the years and what I see with my client as well, it works the other way around. Because a real decision, like not a tentative plan, not I'll just see how it goes, but an actual committed decision creates the internal conditions for success. It reorganizes something within you. It stops the energy leak of constant reconsideration. It frees up mental and emotional bandwidth that was being consumed by the question of whether, and it redirects entirely to the question of how. Not so much if, whether, or perhaps, but it shows you the way to the question of how am I going to do this? So when you have genuinely decided something, you stop defending it. You stop explaining it. You stop needing people to agree with it. And you just move. My client is not performing confidence. She has simply stopped entertaining the alternative. And that single internal shift changes everything. How she shows up, how she makes decisions within the expansion, what she attracts, and how she leads. Now, what does human design have to do with this? Everything, of course. Let me show you. Let me show you. So, first of all, your human design type does not tell you what to decide, but it tells you something really important about the energetic quality that decision needs to be rooted in. My client is a manifesting generator. Manifesting generators are often misread as impulsive. They are not. They are fast. And that's a big difference. The issue comes when speed bypasses check-in, when mental excitement about an idea gets mistaken for the body's actual yes. Manifesting generators and generators have access to both the generative, responsive power of the sacral center. And of course, manifesting generators have also access to the initiating force of a manifestor. And that is an enormous capacity. But it's only trustworthy when it's preceded by a genuine gut response. My client's decision to expand didn't come from a spreadsheet or a pep talk. It came from her body. She got the opportunity, she got the cue, and her sacral said yes. And she moved. And the people around her are still processing. And that's very often how it goes for manifesting generators. They have already decided, and the world around them needs time to catch up. Now let's have a chat about the other energy types. If you are a generator, your sacral response, just as the manifesting generator, your sacral response, that gut yes, that pull towards something, that is your most reliable indicator. When you decide from that place, you have fuel. When you decide from your head alone, you will hit a wall. I mean, I'm a generator. This is what I do with my Spain dream, my Spain plans. I feel the sacral response and I act on it. And it's scary and I don't have all the answers yet, but I feel the sacral yes, and that's why I'm moving towards it. When you're a projector, your decisions carry a very different quality because you need recognition and invitation, and that's not a weakness, but that is your design working correctly. And a real decision for a projector often feels like, I was ready for this, and now the moment has arrived. And this is such a different approach than for the other energy types. When you are a manifestor, a genuine decision from you carries a real generative force, but it needs to come from a place of internal peace, not from urgency and not from reactivity. So you need time alone, and you really need to check in with yourself and really have that internal peace. And that's where clarity and decisions come from. If you're a reflector, of course, you know, and you know this, time is your greatest ally. You know, a decision made in the first 24 hours is often not yours. It belongs to the energy of the people around you. So let it breathe for a full lunar cycle. And what remains is actually and genuinely yours. So the type tells you the quality of the fuel. Now let's talk about authority. And authority tells you where to find the ignition. So your authority is where your decision actually lives. This is one of the most practically useful things you can understand about yourself in business, and it is the piece that most people skip over in favor of types and profiles. Your authority in human design is where your reliable inner signal lives. And it's never, I mean, never ever in your head. Please let that sink in. It's never in your head. Emotional authority, when you have emotional authority, and it's the most common authority I see in the entrepreneurs that I work with, it means that you will get clarity over time through the natural movement of your emotional wave. The high of the excitement is not clarity. The low of the doubt is not truth. The signal you can trust is what remains when the wave has moved through. If you keep making decisions at the peak of your enthusiasm or the bottom of your fear, you will keep second guessing yourself. Wait for the settling, that quiet, flat, calm sense of, yes, this is still right. That is your green light. Now let's talk about sacral authority. Sacral authority is more immediate, I would say. It lives in gut responses. It's the mm-hmm and it's the mm-mm, no. So the uh-huh is yes and the uh-uh is a no. These signals are most accessible when you ask yourself or you get asked yes and no questions, and not when you're sitting alone writing a pros and cons list. If you have sacral authority and you're trying to make big business decisions through long solo deliberation, you are genuinely working against your design. You need someone to ask you, or you need to ask yourself out loud and listen to what your body says before your mind has a chance to get involved. Now, my client has sacral authority. Her decision to expand was not made in a long meeting. It was made in the body, in the moment of response. Everything after that, the planning, the hard work, the preparation, is the follow through. The decision itself was already done. Splenic authority speaks once, quietly, in the present moment. It does not repeat itself. And if you have splenic authority, the work is to learn how to trust that first immediate intuitive hit, even when you cannot explain it. Especially when you cannot explain it, because the spleen, your intuition, can be very irrational. So don't try to explain it. Just trust that intuitive yes or a no. Now, whatever the authority, the most powerful decisions you will ever make in your business are not made in your head. They are recognized somewhere else in your body and then given permission by your mind. The mind confirms, but it does not lead. And please write that down if you have to. The mind confirms, but it doesn't lead. Now I want to spend a moment here with the centers, because this is one of the most misunderstood pieces of human design, and particularly in the context of business. My client has an undefined will center. In a culture like ours that glorifies willpower, discipline, pushing through, that can sound like a problem, because when your will center is undefined, it means there is no consistent energy when it comes to willpower and determination. And that can sound like a problem. It can sound like a gap, like something you need to compensate for. Here's the thing, it's not a gap. The will center governs willpower, self-worth, and the ego's drive to prove itself. When it's undefined, it means you do not have that consistent access to that kind of sustained grinding push energy. So if you try to build a business on a foundation of constant proving, constant forcing, constant efforting, basically, you will exhaust yourself. And then you will wonder why you feel like you're failing when actually you are running a strategy that was never designed for you. But here is also what an undefined will center means. You are not here to operate from ego-driven force. You are here to work smarter, to build structures and systems and relationships that hold you, so your energy can go where it genuinely wants to go. to rest between the bursts without calling that weakness, to let your results speak rather than spending energy constantly justifying your worth to people who are running on a very different kind of fuel. My client is not holding her decision together through gritted teeth. She has 7 defined centers. She has enormous consistent energy moving through her design in other ways. So she doesn't need a defined will center to sustain this decision. She needs to trust her sacral yes. She needs to follow her strategy and stop trying to convince anyone who operates from ego force and checking that, her way of doing is valid or not. So if you also have an undefined will center, this is for you. This decision, or any decision that you're about to make, does not need to be held by force. It needs to be held by alignment. And those are very different things, because force depletes and alignment sustains. Let's talk about another element of my client, and that's her incarnation cross. So she has the left angle cross of upheaval, gates 17, 18, 38, and 39. This is not a gentle cross. It's not designed for maintaining the status quo or keeping everyone comfortable. This incarnation cross is designed for disruption in service of something better. Because Gate 17 brings the capacity to see patterns, to form clear opinions, and to recognize what could be improved. She's a skin therapist. Remember that. Gate 18 is the drive to challenge what is not working and the push toward a higher standard, even when that creates friction. Gate 38, the gate of the fighter, the one who holds on to what matters in the face of opposition, who does not abandon their purpose when things get hard. Gate 39 is the provocateur, the energy that stirs things up, not out of chaos or to create chaos, but out of an instinct that something needs to move and to improve. So, put those 4 gates together and you get someone who is genuinely built to take the bold step that unsettles the people around her. Someone whose life purpose is not to keep things comfortable, but to initiate a new level. Someone who is literally designed to do exactly what my client is doing right now, expanding into something bigger, disrupting the previous version of her business, and making the people in her orbit a little nervous, to say the least. Because, the stress that the people around her are feeling, it is partly a response to her cross, because she carries an energy that catalyzes change. She's not doing anything wrong. She's doing exactly what she's here to do. So, understanding your incarnation cross does not make the work less real, but it does mean you can stop wondering whether you're being reckless. Sometimes, the bold move is not a departure from who you are, but it's the most aligned expression of it. So, wrapping this up, let me give you the practical version of everything I just said, because I really want you to be able to use this today. 1, separate the decision from the feeling. You do not need to feel confident to decide. You need to decide in order to access the confidence. Commit first, and the clarity follows. Know your authority too. Know your authority and actually use it. If you have emotional authority, stop deciding in the heat of the moment. Let the wave move through. If you have sacral authority, stop deliberating alone and start listening to your body's first response. If you have splenic authority, trust the quiet first hit, even when you cannot explain it. If you have self-projected authority, talk it out. Hear yourself talk, and then you can decide. And if you have lunar authority, take the time, take a lunar cycle to decide. 3, name what is yours and what is the room. What do I mean by that? When the people around you are anxious about your decision, that anxiety is data about them. It's not a verdict on your choice. You can love someone completely and still refuse to let their fear become your compass. 4, if you have an undefined will center, stop holding your decision together with force. Build structures that support you. Rest between the work. Let your results be the argument instead of spending your energy convincing people before anything has happened yet. 5, look at your incarnation cross for permission. Your cross gives you a sense of the larger current that your life is moving with. If your design carries gates of disruption or challenging what exists or initiating the new, then the bold move is not a risk. It's an alignment. 6, let your decision be a decision. At some point, the research is done. The authority has spoken. What is left is to stop asking the question, but to say and start saying, I decided. And this is happening. And to move from that place and not from the ongoing negotiation with yourself. So, my client, she's going to open that new venue. And not because there is no risk, not because everyone agreed, not because she's pushing it into existence through sheer willpower. She's going to open it because her sacral said, hell yes. She's opening it because her left angle cross of upheaval was literally built for this kind of movement. Because she made a real decision and she's holding it with quiet certainty, and that doesn't need an audience. And this is available to you too. Not as a performance of certainty, not as the absence of doubt, but as a commitment that you make from the most reliable part of your design, and then choose to honor that, even on the day when the days when the wave is low, when the numbers feel tight, or when the people you love are still catching up. Decide and let the doing prove it. Now, if you want to go deeper into your human design and understand how your specific type, authority, and design can help you support your business decisions, the link to book a call with me is in the description below. And if this video was useful, share it with a woman in your life who is standing at a threshold right now. She might need to hear this. If you like this video, show me a thumbs up, share it with your audience, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.